Hi. Good morning.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. I am so tired. So, in addition to my normal yawning, I will probably do that more.
Now that was staged, everybody. She said she was going to yawn. No, she didn't. I'm joking. I'm teasing.
I'm just really tired. The two live sales, basically back to back, like Friday and Monday, just getting ready and just all the things. It is a
Yeah.
lot. So much. Oh, good gravy. Sorry, you might want to talk. You have to do all the talking today. Sorry.
Oh, no pressure. Yeah, okay. So you got you know, tiredness from that. I'm tired. How, it's I love my family to death, but it's exhausting sometimes. Some of them. So prime example is Scott and Maria. So we have had massive ice storms here.
It's been Ice Mageddon.
I am telling you. Now, we in Alliston were very lucky in a sense that we got hit, but it wasn't half as bad as surrounding areas. Now, just 15 minutes north of me, not even 15 minutes, 10 minutes up to Barrie, like they're in a state of emergency. Their power lines are down, their trees are falling consistently. Like you can hear them. I have friends up there that you could just stand on your back porch and hear them falling
Oh,
because it's a highly treed area
yeah,
north, right?
yeah.
So yeah. And someone had sent Scott a picture of where he lives because he came here for a couple of days because they had no power. And uh, a buddy of his lives in the area, and he sent him a video, and you just hear on the audio of it just all the trees cracking, just crack, crash, crack. Like it's just
That's
so eerie
crazy.
sounding.
Yeah.
So yeah, it hasn't been good here weather-wise for a while. Now, here it's been rainy, yes, and very cold. So I wouldn't have been surprised if we had have woken up to some ice happening, but we were very lucky and didn't. So, half of our town power went out. So some outer lying areas of the town got it,
Yeah.
but we where we are directly, no, it didn't get hit horribly.
Well,
Now,
I'm glad.
when I went out Sunday morning for the pancake breakfast at the Lions Club, I had to scrape my car from the ice, but it wasn't when I say that, I don't mean it in the sense of what everybody else is going through because I don't want to say, "Oh, poor me, I just scraped my car." But when
It was a little, it
we
was
we
there.
did get ice, but there wasn't like to the distraction of trees falling and all that kind of stuff. Power out, no. So, that was exhausting. I'm tired now.
Okay, me
Bye.
too.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Um, but yeah, it's been a hectic couple of days.
Oh, and the
Oh,
pollen. Oh my gosh, the allergies
okay.
and the pollen. Can we just?
Yeah.
We're
So I
setting
started.
records.
Are you really?
Yes.
Oh,
The
oh,
highest pollen count in like 10 years.
wow.
It's ridiculous. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so talk about pollen. We have an ant infestation
Oh,
happening.
yes.
So I don't know.
They're
I guess
they're trying to get out of the cold.
they're all the baby ants coming. So I don't know whether, you know, they're waking up because it's, not as
It's
freezing
supposed to
cold.
be
So it's
spring.
like, oh, look. But we get that sometimes when we have that, oh, spring's here and everybody's out in their shorts, and then the next day it snows. So that's the way spring happens here, 2 to 12 times before it actually
Yes.
stays. You know. Anyway, I what can I say? I live in the
Well, we
crazy world.
skipped like we had our week. We actually had 2 weeks of winter. We've had some days of spring, and now we're just full-fledged into summer. Like we're in the high 80s.
Oh wow. Well,
So
I'm jealous. Sorry.
no, I get it. Okay, I want to be cold, but I don't want all that nonsense. I just need it to be like the temperature of a freezer, and I'd be happy. But no
Well,
ice, no snow, no extra work on my part for the weather. Nope,
yeah.
nope, nope. So I don't think anything else is going on. Oh, I'm gonna take a week off.
Yeah, good for you.
I am the second week next week actually. I say the second week of
Oh, it's
April.
next week.
We're already in the first week of April. Yep, next week.
Yeah, April Fools. This isn't a podcast.
No, April Fool would be like, today we're going to be so professional, and
Yeah,
Stephanie's not going to move in her chair
yeah.
7,000 times.
Lori isn't going to
Already, I
wiggle her
catch myself
nose.
like, me all get comfy. Like, what is that?
Well, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. This is my opinion, and I'm staying with it. Okay. I think it's because we're so comfortable
Yes.
in what we're doing because we do this on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Only right now we're just recording it
Right.
with a topic, maybe, or eight, depending on,
Rabbit holes.
right? Um, so I think that's why we just feel like we can just do whatever it is we're doing because I'm like, "Meh." I'm
And I'm
trying
like,
not to touch my nose, but and sometimes it's hard because my hair little I have my hair's long, so it starts falling and get little like right now I could see a piece that I really want to just pull out like a savage, but I'm going
look,
to
I
leave
got
it.
mine all piled up on top of my head. I need a haircut so bad. So I
Me
was
too.
telling you before we got started, I want something different, but
Yeah.
I don't know what. Really, I'm tired of this all in the front, but I don't want to go back to bangs.
I think you should get a pixie like me. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting all mine chopped right off.
I wonder if I should
Pixie it
just
up.
get it. The only thing I hate about, like, well, I hate
I'm
about
gonna,
short hair, but then I pile it up on top of my head is it makes my face look fatter.
yeah, you know what? Nothing's gonna make that look any fatter. I don't care. And at this point in my life is, you know what? This is what I'm gonna say to everybody. You don't like it, look away. Look away. Okay? You don't have to comment. You don't have to like it. I won't even like it. So you're not gonna hurt my feelings, okay?
So my hair is naturally curly, but I want a fluffy pixie. So I want it to be short and like
Yes.
fluffy.
And yours will be very pretty that way. That's what I think. That's why I think you should do it.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can
I'm going
convince
to
my
send you a whole
hairdresser.
shit ton of
Yeah, send
Pinterest
me a
pictures.
whole bunch of pictures
Yeah,
of what you think my hair should look like.
there you go. And
And
I
then
just,
I'll take it to my hairdresser, Miss Myra.
yeah.
And she'll look at
So,
me and she'll be like,
are you
no.
crazy, girl? Yeah. So, what else is new? Nothing. There's actually just been busy, busy like usual.
Always.
Bam Dam's been talking about moving to New Brunswick.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm
We
not
can't talk
too,
about this pressing stuff like that right now.
yeah, well, I'm trying to bring everybody up to date,
I know.
but I can't go. So, there's no, I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying it's going to change my world because then I'm going to have to look for a place to live and da 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 da. And here we go. We're going into a rabbit hole, but um, hopefully that won't pan out. And
Meg, if you're
every
listening, just stop the
everybody,
process
fingers
now.
crossed.
Because
um, but yeah, so there's that. So that's about all that's been happening in my world since the last time we did a podcast, which we ended up canceling one because why? What happened? I don't even remember
last
anymore.
week my internet was down. Like
Oh, that's right.
it kept being weird. We had to
Yeah.
call the people out. We had to call them out twice actually, but one was to fix the actual internet. Okay, so the first person who installed our fiber optic internet stuff, he didn't there was a piece missing from the cord that plugged into the router. So when the guy came out to like see what was wrong, he's like, this ain't right.
Oh, so it was like unstable.
Yeah. So it wasn't
Wow.
like in there all the way. And our tower was outdated, so we got a new tower. And then they came back out to hardwire Kenny upstairs because he was just doing the Wi-Fi upstairs,
Yeah.
but there's a whole lot of interference between the
Oh,
router
yeah.
down here and way up there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So we got a router from there and he got hardwired in. So he can stop belly aching about his lag.
Yeah.
Because I'm hardwired in. I just have a cord plugged into the router. Do you see
Yeah.
that? My cat sliced my finger open.
That ungrateful animal.
Yeah, I
Could you
know.
imagine?
We were playing and her fingernail, her claw got caught and I ripped it back and ripped it was bad. It was like bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, see, this is my life. That's it. Okay, bye.
We are just so full of excitement. It
All my
is not a
excitement is done.
it is not a wonder we have not gone viral yet.
I
It
know.
just surprises me every single time we're on here. This is it. This podcast is going to send us over the into
Right
the
over
yeah, and it never
into the
happens.
trash can.
Why why doesn't it happen? Anywho, it's okay. You know, one day it will.
Probably
One
because
day.
I sound like I have emphysema. I yawn. I can't sit up straight and be still for nothing. I am like a toddler, like playing with stuff. And I wasn't meant to be a podcaster, but I like it.
We're doing it for fun.
I know it is
Right.
fun.
It's fun.
And if
So what's our
people happen to
topic
watch.
today?
Okay, there are some disclaimers. I'm gonna
Yes,
throw out some disclaimers right here. These are
please
our
do.
opinions.
Yeah.
These are our feelings. We are
Mm-hmm.
not trained professionals in any area of anything.
Uh, uh-uh.
We are just two highly opinionated older ladies who just want to say what we want to say. So,
Who happen to be parents. We got to
yes.
put that. Okay, so we have some
So,
experience.
well, in this, so our topic is gentle parenting. It's this new thing um that has cropped up and it's interesting.
So the definition, according to the internets, gentle parenting emphasizes empathy, understanding, and building a strong emotional connection with children, focusing on a positive discipline and helping them develop self awareness, while traditional parenting often relies on punishment and reward and a more hierarchical approach. And go.
Okay, so right away I am looking at that in correlation to what is your job as a parent? Your job as a parent is to raise a respectful, well-rounded, hardworking, a contributor to society
Mhm.
person, adult. That is our
Yeah.
job as a parent. Okay. The world is hierarchical.
Mhm.
Okay. There's always a pecking order in the world. Whatever job you get, I don't care if it's sweeping the floor or being a CEO, there is a hierarchy to that. Um, in the world, um, no boss is coming to you saying, "Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay. Can you tell me why that it's not happening?"
What would you like to do
Right?
instead?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So my issue right off the bat with that definition, it does not correlate with real life. And I feel like if that is how you're raising your child, you're doing a disservice to them. Now, I believe that some of those things that yes need to be incorporated into parenting. Not
yeah,
saying that it's all hellfire and brimstone to do what I say authoritative, but you have to look at the world that you're raising your child in and
yeah.
how it's going to translate. And I don't feel like that translates to the real world.
I honestly believe that if you're focusing just on the gentle parenting aspect of that description, you are raising self-centered, spoiled individuals who want, and that's not going to be good for them when they become adults. Things are not going to go their way. Now, do I agree with you 100% on taking that definition and mixing things in and out of it? Because, yes, I want my kids to have empathy, and I want them to have understanding and build strong emotional connections and learn all those kind of things. But it can't be the only thing. There has to be
But it can't be to the detriment of them learning either.
exactly that there has to be a little bit of strength in there from the parents as well when it's no, it's no.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. I my firstborn, we would go over to this shopping. We lived in a condominium in Toronto, and we would go down to this store that had it was like a mall.
Hmm.
Okay, it wasn't like a 2, 3 level mall. It was just like a almost like a strip, but
Yeah.
bigger. Okay, but not that that's pertinent, but we would go and walk around there. Like we would take in the after his nap, we would go walk around the mall, and he'd stop and look at the puppies and the pet store and all that kind of stuff. And every single time, okay, let me back up a little. The odd time we would stop at the little kiosk and I would get him a little candy bar, like the little wee ones. Not every time, the odd time. And again, depending on what time of day it was or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll skip to where I was. This one day, he decided, well, we're not getting a candy bar. Why is that not happening? So he stood there, and he's pointing and pointing, and he's grabbing, and I'm taking it off of. No, not today. It's too close to dinner. Da 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 da. Nope, you're not getting one today. Maybe tomorrow. If you're a good boy, let's go. We'll get one tomorrow, right? Well, that wasn't good enough this day. This day he wanted one. And he wanted it bad enough to lay on the floor, kicking and screaming like a wild animal. And so I just walked away and I left him there. And now in today's society, people would have called out their phone. That would have been video. Look at this lady.
You
She's
would have
leaving
went
her
viral
kid.
then.
But I'm going to tell you, 2 minutes into the kicking and screaming, when I wasn't there, don't worry, we're going to get it tomorrow type of thing, he got up and looked around.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there. By that time, I was a little out of his sight, right? And I could see him,
Oh yeah.
and he's looking and looking, and the tears stopped, and he walked to the end of the kiosk to see if I was around there, and then I screamed, "Brad!" And he looks over and he comes running. Well, that was the end of the chocolate bar, but that shocked him enough to know, well, Mom's not joking. We're not
Yeah.
getting one today, so I might as well get going, or she's going to leave me here.
Yes.
Now, would I have left him there? Absolutely not. Jesus. I was trying to show him that that fit is not going to get you anywhere. You can kick and scream all you want. I'm just going to leave it. Okay? That this so anyway, my point to that whole song and dance is that you can still go back and get him one tomorrow to show him that Mom said tomorrow. So and I would have done that. I would have emphasized, okay, because you didn't get one yesterday, and I said you would get one today. You'll get one today. So you follow through. I think that's the big thing with
That
parents
is a
is you
big
have to
thing.
follow through with what you're threatening. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But if you say, okay, you know what, if you guys don't keep it don't stop right now, as soon as your dad get home, I'm going to tell him what you've done today. How many I'm going to and you're going to have to reap the consequences of that. Right? And I'm telling you, 95% of the time, depending on what happened, but I would say a good portion of every single time I threatened that, as soon as George walked in, they would stop what they were doing and look to see if I was going to say something. And I'd say, "Oh, hi, how was your day? Good, how about you?" And I'd go, "Well, your boys." And then I'd go right into what
Hmm.
they did wrong. So you have to follow through because if you don't do that, they're going to think you're just blowing smoke up their ass and they could get away with murder.
And
And I
that's so
think,
true.
yeah, and I think that's what 90% of the kids nowadays, they have. I want to give credit where credit's due too, because you can't be a good parent. And I shouldn't say good. You can be a good parent. Back in the day, we didn't have to worry about people filming us and Karens out in the world calling the cops on us. And we didn't,
Social
you know what I
media.
mean? Yeah, like we didn't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. Nowadays, parents can't be in the grocery store and threaten or scream or, that kind of stuff because there's a trillion eyes just waiting to take your picture and call the cops on you, right? So I get that part of it, but you have to, how can I say it? You still have to be firm with them to know that this is not. And there's been times when I've seen some parents do it right and they'd say, you know, uh, just because there's people around doesn't mean to say that I'm not going to tan your hide or I'm not going
Yeah.
to, you know what I mean? Just because there's people, so that the people around would hear that this kid is just pitching a fit because he wants a stupid thing off the shelf
Yes.
or the smushmallow that's down the aisle or you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's ways around it, but I do get that it must be difficult for a parent out in the wild to try and be that kind of typical parent and not a gentle parent in those circumstances.
But see, I
No?
think I think with gentle parenting, it's it's more of along the lines of, for example, and I only know that's, and I'm not going to name any names, but I know somebody who very much tried to be a gentle parenter. And here's what I'm going to say to that. You can only gentle parent gentle children. If you have a very laid back kid who, you know what I'm saying? I can see how you could talk to them in a very calm manner and they would, you know what I'm saying? But if if you don't have a gentle child, that's not going to work. Okay, fine. Try it the first time. You know, I'm just going to throw a name out there. Johnny, it's time to go. Okay, I know you don't want to and I understand that and I'm sorry that you don't want to, but we still have to go. And Johnny's still throwing a fit. Okay, it's done. Gentle parenting is over. You know what I'm saying? Because Johnny's not respecting you and your decision. Uh But I have watched someone, come on, let's go, come on. You know what I'm saying? On and on. This whole time, this child is just screaming and kicking and throwing a fit. And the parent is, oh, Johnny, come on, baby. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I just want to
Yeah.
pick that kid up and just toss it to the car. Like, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And I did the same exact thing you did.
I would have
Kenton,
done that.
oh, I would have done that in half a heartbeat. I've been like, it's time to go, Johnny, right now. And if you don't go, I'm going to bust your butt. I
Yeah.
carried a spoon. Yes, people, a wooden spoon in my purse because the boys are heathens. Anyway, but Kenton threw a fit in the grocery store, just like Brad did, right? Because he wanted
Hmm.
something. I don't remember. We were, I think it was the cereal aisle. On the floor. Da, 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 da. I just walked right over him. I said, I don't know whose kid that is, but they need to come pick him up, and just kept walking around the corner so I could still see him like through the aisle thing. He
Hmm.
couldn't see me. Same exact thing. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, he was like, where'd mom go?
Yeah.
And he come
Yeah.
running up to me and he's like, why did you leave me? I was like, who are you? He's like, I'm Kenton. I was like, I don't know who you are. And he's like, I'm your son. I was like, then act like my son. My son doesn't throw fits in the aisle. So if you're going to throw fits in the aisle, you're not my son. And he just
Yeah.
looked at me. He's like, okay. And that was it.
Yeah. I just
But
leaned
I,
down to,
I set
I
a
just leaned down,
standard.
leaned down to him and I said, okay, mommy's going. See ya. And I walked away.
Yeah, it's like I don't know whose kid this. This ain't my kid. I didn't raise my kid to act a fool like that. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm your son. Oh no, my son doesn't act like that. You can't be my son.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be your son. I'll behave. Don't leave me in the store. So I printed out some of these examples so
Okay.
we can go off of here. So mainstream parenting set routine. The parents set routines. Whereas gentle parenting is the natural rhythm of a child observed and followed. So that translates to me that mainstream parenting, the parents are in charge and are raising their kids accordingly. And gentle parenting, the kid is in charge.
That's nice. That's what's happening.
But I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do you gentle parent more than one kid? So if
Uh,
it's the natural rhythm of the child, do you ever make it to work on time? Do they get to school on time? Like, how does that work if you are letting the child determine their natural rhythm? Okay, here's the next one. Mainstream parenting. Children should learn respect for their parents ASAP. I don't think that's accurate. Respect is earned. I don't think all parents deserve respect. I'm sorry. There's some really crappy, horrible people out there who just happen to be parents. And I don't think just because you're a parent automatically means that you get respect. But I digress on that. Gentle parenting. Parents respect child, leading child to respect the parent. That's a
yeah, I
lot
don't
of
know.
words. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm kind of confused by that.
So, mainstream parenting, parents are in control, child has little control. Gentle parenting, child's needs for control over their lives acknowledged and respected where appropriate. Then where do you draw the line and who's determining appropriate? So, if you're determining appropriate, you're still in control. Bad behavior is always unacceptable and punished or ignored. That's mainstream. Gentle parenting, no behavior is seen as bad, but rather as an unmet need and a way to learn. No, throwing a fit in the grocery store because you can't have your way, that is that is not an unmet need. That
Hmm.
is them being a child. Children will push the boundaries
Absolutely.
all the time to see
They will
what
always
they
see
can.
how far they can go.
Oh, yeah. If I and and if you give them that little inch, then they're going to keep going, and the next thing you
Mhm.
know, you have a thug.
Yeah.
You have a heathen on your hands because you've allowed them to just push the
Yeah.
boundaries, push the bound. Again, if you have one of those kids who just mind you and does, I had a kid like that, Heather. Heather, I had zero problems from that child. If I would have told her walk across hot coals barefoot, she would have. She would have cried and it would have hurt, but she would have done it because mommy said so. That is just the kind of child she was.
Yeah.
Most kids are not like that.
No.
She was just a very, very calm and laid back, and what mommy said, mom went, and that was that. All the rest of the kids, no, pushed it. Kenton, prime example. Okay. So Kenton wanted to play with the plugs on the walls.
Hmm.
Okay. So the first time you tell them no, this is how they learn no, you can't do that. And you redirect. Okay. You redirect. Well,
Yeah.
redirecting doesn't work all the time. So he would get a smack on the hand, like this on his
Yeah.
hand. No, Kenton, you can't play with the plug. Redirect. This is Kenton. As he's reaching for the plug, going, no, 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 no. To himself.
Oh, that's too cute.
No word of a
I'm
lie.
sorry. I'm sure it was annoying back then, but it's a cute story now.
Yeah, I mean, my kids have given me so many great memories. In the moment, I was like, I'm never going to survive this. You will,
Yeah.
I promise. But yeah, so it doesn't always work,
So
because
there,
kids are
yeah.
just like, this is what's going to happen. I'm just going to do it to myself and do what I want to do anyway.
Yeah. So there's a note here that says, "What do psychologists say about gentle parenting?" It says gentle parenting does not equate to permissiveness, which I totally agree with, because some
Right.
of them don't know. Uh, Permissiveness is just like it just gets in there. It's so easy just to give them whatever they want to shut them up. Okay. It involves setting clear and consistent boundaries while offering children age appropriate choices within those boundaries. The sad part is most gentle parenting people don't have that type of,
Discipline
yeah,
themselves.
they don't. They just, you know. Okay, so along with the psychologists say about gentle parenting, it was also asked, what parenting style do psychologists prefer? Psychologists mostly prefer authoritative approach.
Which is like the mainstream
Yeah, because they
parenting.
kids need boundaries.
Yes.
Kids need to know that there's consequences. Kids need to know so you know, and they need to know that when they're as they're being raised, there's a balance between structure and independence so that they can make decisions, but the boundaries are there in place so that they can still grow up to be reasonable human beings. So that psychologists are saying that. So they're not even saying that gentle parenting is the best one
No.
because the question was, what parenting style do psychologists prefer? And it's that one.
Now, one thing I will say, and I didn't know this was a gentle parenting thing, it's just the thing that I always did, basically because of the way I was raised. But it is one of the many things that gentle parents do is giving their kids choices,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now,
Yeah.
I always gave my kids a choice. And basically it was like, you can do it this way, and this is the result, or you can do it this way, and this is the result. You get to choose, right? So you can either eat what I have, what I've made, or you can make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because one thing I learned with Heather, with one of my kids, was force feeding them and making them eat did not work. It was traumatic for everyone involved. Fine. You
Yeah.
got a picky eater, you got a picky eater, okay? So, but it was a choice. They got to choose what they got to do. That's just an example. Um, as my kids got older, I always wanted to educate them so they
Mm-hmm.
could make an educated decision. You know, like if they were gonna, I don't know, I don't even have in my mind what it is now, but they would come to me and say, "Oh, me and my friends were gonna do this, da 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 da." Okay, that's great. Just make sure that you're aware of XYZ, blah blah blah, da 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 da. Because a lot of things kids don't think their frontal lobe's not even fully formed until they're like in their
No.
early 20s.
So I had when I was raising my two, there were pickiness about different things. But one thing George and I decided was we were not going to cat we were making dinner and that's the end of it. They're eating it. It's simple as that. This is not a restaurant. We didn't have mega bucks to make different meals for whoever
Hmm.
decided to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the meal. You eat it or you don't eat. It's simple. So I was kind of as mummies like, well, I don't know, I can't put my kid to bed hungry, da 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 da. So I talked to the pediatrician at the next appointment, and I said, this is the situation, and you know, some of them are picky on this, and some of them are picky on that. And his words to me were this: he said, Lorie, kids will never starve themselves. If there is food offered to them and they are hungry, they will eat it. They may not eat it all, but they will eat something. They will not starve themselves to death. They won't. He said, what you should be trying to do, my opinion, is say, you know what, you don't like cauliflower? That's fine, but you got to take 8 bites. 8 bites and then you don't have to eat it all. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like give them the opportunity to say, well, I'm not eating a whole plate of it, but I'll eat 8 bites just to shut you up, type of deal. Right. And that's what they'll do. They'll go, okay. And even if they don't do 4 bites and then they can't do because you don't want them, you know,
Yes.
making themselves sick. But and they only do 4, then you say, okay, that's fine. You can leave it. Like because it was just specific things, but
Yeah.
I couldn't make a whole meal based on
No.
what Brad liked and George liked and I liked. And you know what I mean? Because
And
that
that's
was
why
just
I
crazy.
offered them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich
Yeah.
because they all happen to like peanut butter and jelly,
Yeah.
because I mean, we were a family of 6. Again,
Yeah.
like you, I can't,
No, I wasn't
whatever,
doing it.
but they would have to make
And
it themselves.
but the thing of it is too is it worked because at the end of the day, they they would sit down and eat without a problem. And if they weren't eating something, I'd go, why aren't you eating the peas? Well, I don't like them. Okay, well, can you at least try a couple mouthfuls? And if you still don't like it, then you don't have to eat it. But before you knew it, they were eating the whole plate full.
Oh
Like
yeah. And
after a while,
my
right?
kids
And it's
outgrew
just
all their pickiness.
yeah. So I wasn't kowtowing to that sort of, and I had friends that were making 3 and 4 different meals for their kids.
No.
Un
Again,
un it's not happening.
but see, that's why I offered them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because here's the deal. There's a lot of foods that I don't like.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to eat either. So I did take that into account. I did take that. And again, it's not because I didn't make them taste it or try it. These are things that
Yeah.
I knew for a fact they were just not going to eat because we've
Yeah.
been down this road 1,000 times. Fine. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich it is. Everyone's happy. There's no drama and trauma, making them eat something I know that they don't like because there's foods I don't like. I hate oatmeal. Like oatmeal makes me gag. If someone said, "Well, you have to eat oatmeal," I would be gagging and throwing up in my plate
Mm-hmm.
because I can't like physically cannot eat it. So I did take that into account. But you're right. Kids have to have boundaries. How do they learn them? They don't just learn them by being allowed to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, do I think we should take our kids' feelings into consideration? Yes. Do I think that if I have again, and just for the audience, we're not talking about kids with special needs. Okay?
No,
That's
no, no.
a whole different ball game, and that's not what we're talking
Or
about.
kids
This
that
is
have
just
allergy with certain things. And
yes,
I'm
this
talking
is
about the
just
general,
general
yeah,
rule of thumb. General
yeah.
kids,
The
general
kid who
whatever.
sits down at the table and goes, oh, what's that green stuff? I'm not eating it. Well, too bad.
Oh my God, Heather and her black specks. I had to get white pepper. If she saw a black speck, she'd just have a meltdown. I got white pepper and never heard another word. But that was her hang up. It was a visual thing. Immediately her brain is just like, there's black specks in it. It's hot. Yes, I'm
Oh
laughing
my
now.
God.
So for all you parents who are dealing with the insanity that are children, they do grow up. They do outgrow all of these little idiosyncrasies and all these little things. And then
Yeah,
you have all these fun stuff that you can laugh about later that really was about to throw you right over the edge when they were growing
literally.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I tried to show them the right way to do things and the right and and I'd let them make their decision. Like let's put it this way. Scott was our little hellion. Scott liked to take his scooter or his skateboard. And I would say to him, if you do that, you're going to get hurt. No, I won't. Yes, you will. And don't come crying to me if you get yourself hurt, because I'm telling you not to do that in that spot. Go over there. It's flatter. This is going to. And what does he do? He goes and does it. And then he looks up at me, starts crying, and I go, up.
Yep.
I don't want to listen to it. I told you, you chose. That was your decision. I told you what you
Hmm.
should do. You chose to ignore me. That is your problem now. So that to me, I was trying to teach them, you make a decision. Now you have to live with that decision,
Yes.
right? Because it's not, oh, come here, baby. I'm sorry. You fell, huh? No, no, sorry. I check him over to make
Like,
sure he
all
wasn't
right.
didn't I didn't he didn't have a rock embedded in his head or anything else like that, but that wasn't right. There was no
No, I
come
was
here
the same
baby.
way. Just like, are you bleeding to death? Get out. Then that's on
Yeah.
you. Like, if
Yeah.
I don't, are you dying? No. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely. So
Because,
that's the
oh,
difference between gentle parenting and the I'm going to say my parenting because I think I was the authoritative
oh yeah,
type of
I
person.
definitely was.
I never took their opinions away from them. I always gave them the opportunity to make choices about how they lived their life and what they chose to do. And do you want to do baseball? Do you want to? And then Scott would go, well, I don't know if I want to do baseball. And I'd say, okay, well, how about we do this? We go out for a couple practices. If you don't like it, we'll pick something else.
Yeah.
Okay. And he ended up loving baseball. To this day, he plays baseball. So, sometimes you just have to say, how about this? How about that? You can't just
Yeah, you have
wash it
to
under the,
introduce
oh, you
them
don't
to
like it?
things.
Oh, you don't like it? Okay, you don't have to do it. No,
And
you're
once my
taking a
kids,
whole
go
a
ahead.
whole thing away from them just by doing that. You're,
Yeah.
every because every kid would say, no, I don't want to do that. Too bad. We're going to do it. We're going to try it and see. If you still don't like it, then we can choose something else. Right?
And once my kids made the decision to be on a team,
That
they
was
had to
it.
finish the season.
Yeah.
There was no,
No
nope.
change. I'm not going tonight.
You
Not
are a
no.
part of a team now that
Yeah.
is depending on you. I mean, unless they are sick, I mean, probably not one of my proudest moments, but it definitely taught my kids to be tough. Is when I made Kenton play baseball with a broken hand because I thought he was lying. Uh,
Oh my gosh. But see, that's the thing. It's there's to me there's a difference. I mean, if I look back now and I see some of the things I did with my kids, and if I was a gentle parent, I would never have left Brad laying there. I would be, come on, honey, come on. Okay, let's get one and
but
you can
that
have it
has to
after
be
dinner. Or,
exhausting
oh my God. Well, it does say there that gentle parenting causes so much stress and frustration for parents.
and
Why?
burnout.
It's frustrating enough having children,
Yes.
especially multiple children. And you're trying to navigate everybody's feelings and everybody's wants and dislikes no, we can't live like that. We're a family. Everyone has to be
Yes.
in a cohesive planning. This is what we're doing today. I'm sorry that you don't like it. We're not going to the beach. We're going to the park. You're going to have fun whether you like it or not. That's what we're doing today. Maybe next week we'll go to the beach.
And I would tell my
But you,
kids, like, if they would say things like, well, I don't want to go. I was like, that's okay. You don't have to want to go, but you're still going. Like,
Mhm.
I can't tell you how to feel. You feel how you feel. Okay. And that's very valid. You
Yeah.
don't want to go. I get that. And I'm sorry that I am making you do something that you don't want to do. And you don't have to enjoy yourself, but you still have to go. Right?
I remember Brad said one time like that, well, I don't want to go to the park. And I go, well, that's okay. I don't want to cook dinner tonight either, but I have to. We all have to do things we
Yes.
don't want to do. So suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
It's not, you're going to end up having fun.
And
Yeah,
again, going back to how that correlates, though, to when you get into high school, college, get a job,
yeah.
right? You're not going to want to do 90% of what your boss tells you to do. Okay. You're just not. You're not
It's,
going to want to do it. You're just
and
going to
that's
have to
like,
know that's your job and that's what is expected of you. And so that's what you
that's,
have to do.
it's your job to do it. And it's the same thing nowadays with this, um, sports and no, what do you call them? Medals and no this in the first place, this and first, second
Oh,
place, that.
everybody gets a
Like,
trophy.
what? Everybody gets a participation award. Well, what's that teaching them? That's not teaching them drive. That's not teaching them good work ethic to get to the first place. Like,
No.
I don't understand the thought process here. But
I've never,
what are
when
we
that started
doing?
happening was around the time the boys were in baseball.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone got a trophy just for showing
Well,
up.
I said that
Like,
to, Brad always played rep hockey. So it was cutthroat, you
yeah.
got to be. But Scott he played hockey, but he played house league. So yeah, it was like, okay, then we get this participation award thing. And it was like a medal. And I said to the coach and everyone, what's this for? Oh, everyone gets it for participating. Oh, okay. Well, who was in first place? Like which team got for, oh, we don't do that. What are you talking about?
So
Scott
yeah,
went
why
right.
bother doing your
So,
best if
right?
there's no reward
There
for
was
being your best?
yes. So, right that next season, Scott went into rep. But we're not doing this. We're not, our kids are going to learn that, you know, if you don't
Yeah.
show up and you don't work hard, your team's not going to win.
But not only
And
that though, if you do show up and you work hard, there is a reward for that.
that's
Whether it's a
right.
better paycheck or whatever it is,
Yeah.
there is a good consequence for hard work.
But that teaches them that hard work ethic, and I
Yes,
know my boys have that now,
mine do
that
too.
they need to they that teaches them when you're doing that when they're young, that teaches them that hard work ethic, so when they go out into the world they know it's this is the way it's got to be. I got to show up every day. I got to put in my hard work, and I got to, you know what I mean? If I
I
want to get a
do.
paycheck and I want to be with this company, and they learn it, but they don't learn it by getting a participation award that everybody else got. What was the point of that?
Or they end up having to learn things the very hard way when they're older, when they
Oh,
really should have been learning it the easier way when they were younger. You know what
like
I'm
some of these
saying?
kids, I don't know how they're going to do in the world.
They're
I really
not.
don't know. And some of them, if you think some of them are going to be growing up to be politicians and to be, doctors or like, come on now.
So Kenton is a district manager over 5 stores for Jersey
Mhm,
Mike's. Okay. Um, Now he works at two of them mainly, but he's over
mhm.
them, whatever. So he has to hire people. He said, Mom, he said, first of all, thank you for raising me the way you did. He
Mhm.
said, because these kids, and even he says kids, they're my age, but they act like kids. They will come to work, get a paycheck, and then quit because they have a paycheck. It's like,
It's crazy.
because they all live at home.
Yeah.
He said they are lazy. They have no work ethic whatsoever.
No.
Oh, he said it's awful. He said it is. He goes, our society is just going downhill. And this is my 23-year-old son.
Yeah.
23, 24. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's horrible. But
it's
you know what?
awful.
Uh, you know, I say luckily, but luckily I probably won't have to I won't be around to reap the rewards of the gentle parenting saga
It's
and all these kids. You imagine half of them right now getting ready to go into university or whatever, and
but see,
there's no drive.
I feel like too that's we're not doing our young adults justice by giving them safe places. There
No,
is no
there's
safe places at your job. Okay.
schools
Again,
are
we are
yeah,
trying to eh, raise and get to the point where you can be a productive part of society.
yeah.
It's crazy. But it reminded me, we were talking about participation awards. I remember when I was in what elementary school, maybe even I know I don't think it was middle school, but elementary school field day. Okay. Remember the ribbons, the
Oh
blue, the
yeah,
red, and the green? And
yeah.
that's it. First, second, and third place. That is it. And those
Period.
were
You got
coveted. Coveted.
yes,
Like you wanted that ribbon so bad that you did your absolute 100% best to get that
yeah.
ribbon. If everyone got a ribbon, Well, if I'm going to get a ribbon, then why do I care?
Yeah. What's the effort?
Yeah. But those were coveted. So I mean, that three-legged race, and you would get pissed off if the person next to you was not as fast. It was
Yeah.
that competitive. It was, working together.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being
No,
competitive. I
there's
don't
not.
think there's nothing wrong with it. I think it shows the, kids that, you put a little bit of effort in and you reap the rewards,
Yes.
right?
And it shows you how to work as a team because,
Yeah.
again, that is how the world works. When you get a job, you will have to work with other people,
Yeah.
and they are going to offend you. They're not going to think the same way as you, and you have to be okay with. And that's another thing, is teaching people to walk the other way, keep
Yeah.
scrolling. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
You don't have to be a Karen,
No. And stop being offended.
and I definitely am, and I keep saying this, and I'll say it until my dying day. COVID destroyed our world. I truly believe that because that way everyone got on social media, everyone was locked up and just were able to go behind their computer and be da 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 da. Uh, I could be wrong, but that's my honest to God feeling on the subject. I truly think that COVID did a real number
Well, it wasn't
on
COVID per
everyone.
se, it's how all of every single government in the world reacted to COVID.
Well,
Lockdown.
yeah, but I'm just saying that the lockdown and the like
Yeah,
all that really play a part in
it
everyone's
did.
kind of psyche because I think everyone just went mental after that.
Yeah. We were
Literally.
already on the brink of mental, and that just pushed
No, that
right off the
just
deep
yeah,
end.
right off the freaking hill. Just
Over the cliff, on the rocks.
yeah.
It's over.
And you know what? Yeah. I could tell you what it did to I have no patience anymore for that kind of stuff. What are you looking at? What's the matter?
I was reading more
Oh,
about the thing.
I thought Kenny was calling or
Interrupted
something.
me
And
again?
yeah,
No.
okay. But yeah, I don't know. I just, because of that whole thing, I think my patience level is nil to none for anything. I don't, before I used to, I think when I was at work before I retired, and even after I retired, I could just look away and walk away and who cares, the oh, crazy person, and away you go and no biggie. But now I feel like I don't know if I told you, like I went off the deep end the other day at Walmart
I
because
know.
my grocery cart had garbage in it. And then why do I have to clean it? Anyway, I keep going off on that because no, but that when I say to you that did something to me, and it did. Between the carts not working, now the garbage is in the cart and they're not cleaning the garbage out and they're like it's
And
just
you still have
one
to
thing
do your own groceries
what
and work there.
right have to pack my own bags. I have to like all this kind of stuff. I am I swear it
No,
doesn't
wait,
take a lot.
tell the story about the
Okay.
manager and the sandwich.
Okay, so are you ready for this? This is my Karen rant. Okay. So we have a Walmart by us, and Meg and I go do our family grocery shopping there. Okay. Now, let's just say this 90, I'm going to be very generous here. 94% of the 1,000 carts that are in there are busted. The wheels don't work. It takes you this way when you want to go that way. Like they're just busted. Okay. Now, I'm going to be nice and say, yes, our winters are harsh. The wheels get, rusty and when they're trying to collect them all, they're twisting the whole great big, you know, 90 carts into a stall. I get it. Okay. But at some point, Walmart, you're making a crap ton of money. You can fix the carts. Okay. Anyway, so there's that. The cart issue's always been very, very, very top on my list. The second thing is the other day we went in there. Okay. No, I'm gonna do it in not so much order of that story because I need you to know there's a you know, progression. So we go there and we split the grocery bill. Okay. And every time we go, we split the grocery bill. Now, every single time we go, we always get one cashier that's like, oh, no, we can't do that. You have to go to the customer service. And we're like, what are you talking about? We did it last week. Oh, well, we're not supposed to do it. They shouldn't have done it. You need to go to the thing. Okay. You go to the cash customer service. No, everybody does it. Do you know what it is? It's because they don't know how to do it.
Hmm.
So right off the bat, lazy. Okay. You just, no, I'm not doing it. We've got a gentle parented person it's too much for me. I'm done. Okay. I'm not splitting it. I don't know math, whatever the case may. Meanwhile, Meg does the math. Meg will do it on her calculator just to make it easy because that's what we thought, that they just didn't know how to do the math. Anyway, that's number two. Number three, they won't bag our groceries. We have to, since COVID, they will not bag our groceries. Okay. They won't. Okay. But there's a story to that one too. We have to bring our own groceries. We have to bag our own groceries, da 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 da. And the story was, well, they don't know where the bags are coming from. And because of COVID, we're trying to be careful. We don't want them touching. If they don't feel comfortable touching somebody else's bags, then they don't have to touch the bags. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to try and make this quick. But so we have to bag our own groceries. Now, the other thing that bothers me is, did they change the
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 little
place where
turnstile.
yeah, did they change that? No. So they're putting the groceries up there. I'm at the end trying to bag the groceries. Will they put them down on the little round thing for us? No. They won't even do that so I can reach them easier, right? So you have to say, well, can you put them down? Like you have to instruct them. They have no forethought to think, oh, she can't reach that. No, no, no. Okay. Anyway, there's that. That's another thing that sends me off the deep end while I'm standing there. Then the other day, here's the story. So we go in, I look at the carts, I get a cart out. It wouldn't even roll. The wheels wouldn't roll. Okay. Well, Mag's parking. That's my duties to get a cart. Okay. I got to pull a cart out. The wheel, it wouldn't even move. So I just pull it out and I leave it. Okay. Second one, it wouldn't come out of the cart. Okay. Third aisle, I pull it out and there was a container of food open, but someone had eaten and just left it in the cart. Well, the guy collecting the carts just leaves it there.
And puts it up.
So I'm supposed to pick it up and I do that and I threw it out because the cart worked. Oh, I need that cart. So yeah, I have to clean out the stupid garbage. But don't think I wasn't pissed at it. So I marched my way down to the customer service. Okay. And I'm standing there. Meg phones me. She goes, Nan, where are you? I'm at customer service. For what? I'm bitching. She goes, okay, I'll meet you in the grocery aisle. She knew what I was doing. Okay. She knows me. So I'm standing there and I said to the lady, I said, listen, I know this is not your fault. I just want you to know right off the get go, I'm not blaming you. I want you to pass on the message. I said, or is the manager here? No, the manager's not here. I said, okay. I said, okay. So at the first, I'm thinking, not here as in not here at all. But then I considered, I said, okay, well, this is the problem. And maybe you could pass it on. Is not only do half of the carts out there don't work, which is a Walmart problem, but now do they teach the guys, the bundle buggy guys, to clean out the carts to put to before they stock them in for people's use? She goes, oh, well, I don't know. I said, okay. And I said, well, I just had to clean out my cart of food that was left in there. And I said, I am sick to death of coming in here, not finding a cart, having to bag my own groceries, and having to now clean out my cart before I can even use one. I said, this is getting to be too much. She goes, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Right away, when I hear that, I think, no, you're not. You don't care. I said, listen, where's the manager? And she goes, oh, well, she's in the back. I said, oh, okay. Well, can you call her up? Are you ready for this?
Right.
She says, I'm sorry. She goes, but she's in the back for staff appreciation. I said, well, how come I'm not back there? He goes, oh, are you staff? I said, well, I feel like I am. I just cleaned my cart out. I I have to bag my own groceries. I wasn't invited to no staff appreciation day. And she goes, oh, she goes, yeah, well, we have them. And she starts to tell me how often they have them. We have subs, and oh, isn't that nice? You have subs. Oh, yeah. Well, the carts are out there busted, and there's food all over the joint. And then to top it all off, you have uh, your
Manager.
Walmart greeter sitting on the bench eating McDonald's. Like, what is happening? Is everyone just running rogue here while the manager is in the back having a sub with all the staff? What's happening? I was livid. Please tell me if I'm right or wrong. Am I wrong? Am I just being overly
No, your feelings are very valid. Unfortunately, the person you're talking
Okay,
to
I don't
can't do
want, listen to me.
anything. No,
I don't want you
gentle
to tell me,
parenting.
I don't want you to tell me that because that's what you tell your kids. Okay. Okay.
Trying to gentle parent you.
Yeah, no, I want you to be brutally honest. Lori, you are effed. Okay. But no, I don't think I am. I cannot tell you how many times I go in there, and every time I go in, my blood pressure's sky high before I leave.
Do you know what the number one cause of anger is?
What?
Unmet expectations.
Okay, well, there was a lot of unmet
I know.
expectations there.
And that's why you're angry, is because
And it's not just one off because I
no,
could put up with that. This is every time I go, there's something.
yeah, and the expectation is it's a business and they should care, except they don't because they're so big that you don't matter anymore. If they
Oh, and
lost you, it would not
I
matter.
forgot to tell you this. Are you ready for this one?
Oh
Oh my
goodness.
God. How did I not remember anyway, we're a little over.
Yeah, I timed out, so we're good.
Oh, is it telling you just
No, remember when I had to do a timeout because Kenny called? So we're good on time.
Oh, okay. Oh, but isn't that Kenny in the background?
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh, um, so okay, so this is the scenario. So I'm standing right in the bagging my groceries, and then all of a sudden, this man comes out of the woman's bathroom, right?
Oh, you didn't tell me this.
Yes, and I said to the guy, or I said to Megan, I said, "What's that?" And I hear the Walmart guy standing there, and he goes, "Oh, sir, did you know that you were in the women's bathroom?" He goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "There was no stalls in the men's bathroom, so I just went in there." Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is what we've come down to.
I thought the back one,
Okay.
the front one was 13/16.
Wow.
Was the back, and then the back one was 7.
I don't have any words for that.
Yeah,
You're good.
that's okay. Anyway, that's my story. So, uh,
Bye.
bye.